What's up, y'all? And thanks for stopping by. Coming to America. Coming. The number two in America signifies the sequel to the beloved film Coming to America. This sequel was summed up at the 37-minute mark. Akeem, the character Akeem, played by Eddie Murphy, says, "This is bullshit." And man, this film sure was not one laugh to be had. Well, at this point, anyway. 30 minutes of nothing but nonsense. Nothing but over the top, obnoxious acting by Eddie Murphy. I mean, he almost like he forgot how to do his accent, and he did it. He was like over the top with his African accent. Like, it was almost like at times, sometimes he would do it well, but in the beginning, it really was bad. And then you had to introduce Leslie Jones, who, from the point of go, I said, she is going to really drag this movie down. And boy, did she. She's over the top. She's a damn stereotype. She's like doing all these things, to. She was just obnoxious, and she didn't even do it naturally. Maybe that's her character supposed to be. Her character, she could have did it natural, and she didn't do it. She was just basically relying on just old stereotypes. I'm gonna do it like this, be over the top. I'm a fish out of water. I'm not like refined, and I'm not like royalty. So I'm gonna act that way so that I can clash with the characters when I go to Africa. That's pretty much what she was doing. I mean, Jermaine Fowler is a great actor. I loved him as the son. The scenes he had with Eddie Murphy's Akeem were great scenes. I didn't see enough of that, and when we did, they were great. His reaction, his chemistry, and his scenes with the Marimbe, their characters, great. I believed their love story. I believed it when they finally ended up falling in love, and the whole thing of them coming together. It was great. His pursuing of the crown of the being crown prince. He had to take these tests. The main test was him getting the whiskers of a lion, of a sleeping lion. The way how he and his sister, half sister, who at first they didn't like each other, but then again she said to him, it's not like I never said that out loud, but he sensed it. But she helped him, and they made this elaborate cage out of bamboo, and they were able to outsmart the lion by putting cat food on the bars, and that's how he got the whiskers. That's how he was able to finally pass that, to pass that final test. But over an hour of just unfunny, scenes, dialogue. They were focusing too much on trying to be one thing, and they forgot the whole reason why Coming to America is such a great film. The predecessor was such a good film. They wanted so much to be PC. To some of these characters would look like a stereotype. They were focusing too much on appeasing some people out there. There's an agenda. There definitely was an agenda here. And there's some people I remember hearing on the trailer reactions. They said, hopefully this thing doesn't have agendas shoved in there because it's going to bring it down, and it did. There were so many things. They were trying to appease groups here, groups there, because of course you can't do something really like Coming to America, especially now. Every day there was something being changed, someone being offended. You have to stop selling this product. You have to change this logo, all this stuff. But in doing that, they forgot the reason why we love Coming to America. It should have been Leslie Jones' character wanting to America, and as soon as they left America, she's there. She's left behind. And then it's this Jermaine Fowler's character of Lavelle there. And then we wouldn't have had some of those cringy scenes of her talking at the dinner table, saying, "Why is this mashed potatoes black?" Okay. And then she doesn't realize it's caviar. And then her in the bathtub, right? And then Lavelle's character is going to get happen to him what his dad did. Royal bathers. He had to ask her for permission. She said, "Oh yeah, go ahead, get yours. Go ahead and get yours. You're the prince now." All of a sudden, in the scene from Coming to America, the original, a guy comes out from under the damn water. It says your royal whatever groin or crotch or whatever is clean. And she goes, oh, just go back down there one more time. I didn't see nothing about that. I didn't think nothing of it. It wasn't funny. It was funny when Eddie Murphy did it in the original film. It was And then I just think that the characters, the people that came back from John Amos, Sherry Headley, the character, the actor that played Oha, who sang this. What song did he sing? I forget, but it's like instead of singing "She's Your Queen," which would have been funny, sing that again, but he didn't. He sang this other song. It's a one more song, but I just cannot think of it right now. And it was over the top. We bring in what do you call it, En Vogue and uh, Salt and Pepper singing their classic, their hit, which I love. I like the song. It's called "What a Man." But then then he did it. And it was just like, oh, there was one less En Vogue member there, and Salt and Pepper. It's like they just didn't look the same. It just didn't have any kind of. It was just really, really just cringeworthy. You know what I mean? And let's talk about what's his name. I got these notes and I don't care. I don't care about these notes. Let's talk about Wesley Snipes' character. Very over the top, overly done. And what's up with him and his soldiers? He's training his soldiers, and they're like using video games, and they're using like that Dance Dance Revolution thing. And I'm thinking, seriously, you're supposed to be a threat to Eddie's kingdom, and that's how you train. I think that the only reason why they were tough is because they had the guns, and it proved it at the end. It proved it like towards the end when they were trying to take over, because Eddie and Eddie's character Akeem and General Easy had a thing where they said, okay, he's going to marry the daughter. Eddie's son going to marry Easy's daughter. And then on the eve of that, Lavelle hears Eddie and I keep saying Eddie, Akeem and General Easy talking. And pretty much what he gets out of that discussion that he overhears is that he was a pawn. He was a pawn in this whole thing. He didn't like that. And who would? He decides after, because, he started falling in love with his personal barber, Marimbe. Very beautiful girl. They really hit it off. And they were talking about things. She even dropped him some knowledge about the legend of Prince Akeem and how he went to America, found his bride, and came back. He did everything on his terms, and that's what kind of put a light bulb in his head. And then she really opened him up. She was the one that prepared him, for his tests and all that stuff, meaning that she was there for him. So he decides, okay, let's go. He's gonna take him. He's gonna take her so that she can go live her dream in America of opening up her own barbershop, because in Zamunda you can't be queen, you can't be an heir to a throne as you're a woman, and you can't have your own business if you're a woman. So he said, let's go over there and you can live your dream. You can, have your own thing. I mean, even when they went to America and Akeem went there, found out that the old barbers there they offered her a job. And then as soon as she saves up enough money, she's going to open up her own barbershop. They were down with that. That was cool. He goes there and he's able to disrupt or stop the marriage between his son and Marie Bay. And in the end, he realizes that his son is doing pretty much what he did. Went to America to find love. Well, he already found love in Africa, but he brought his soon-to-be bride to America, and then they could make a life for themselves there. And then he realizes that and says, you know what? Well, Lavelle and his wife said, you know what? Let's get married in a palace. They were gonna get married in this rundown-looking. Looked like it was in a basement or something, a chapel, where that one minister from the Coming to America, played by Arsenio Hall, was about to do the whole, ceremony. And I could notice that he was being PC too, because it's like he couldn't say the things that he did when Coming to America. So another one of those things where why this thing failed, because they were trying to appease, I don't know, sponsorships, I don't know, censor groups, I don't know what it was. But really, it took, and that's what happens with these kind of comedies. Why sometimes you can't bring them back because it's just too much stuff in the air that you just can't. No matter where you step, there's eggshells. You know what I mean? That kind of thing where you can't step anywhere without stepping on eggshells. You know, you got to really walk really carefully. Well, I mean, I think the thing is that you got to walk on eggshells around everybody. So it's like, yeah, you got to walk on eggshells around everybody. You can't say anything that's going to offend people. Now, were there any kind of moments here that I liked? You know, I liked when Eddie and when Akeem and Lavelle would talk about stuff. They were talking. They were in the. They're in the one. You know, they're outside, and then here comes Bobo. Here comes what's the name? What was the name of the Boba? What was the name of the elephant that he? I forget the name. Baba Boba. But you know, he's a fully grown now. The you know, in the parent himself, as as Akeem says, and he comes by, and that was a nice day to see the familiar elephant of Akeem, and then those moments, his moments with him and Lavelle and Marimbe, you know. And it's sad to say that even the barbers, whom I love, the only scene I liked from the barbers was when this is when he decides to bring not only his son and his son's soon to be bride, but his mom, his uncle, and everybody else. And then even the barbers came there. Even Randy Watson saying "We Are Family," one of my favorite songs, and it was funny. It was a hilarious moment. You even see a Soul Train dance line. And we see Leslie Jones dancing with Sherry Headley's character, you know, Lisa and the mom, and they were dancing, and it was funny. She even said, "Hey," when they left to go back to America, she's like, you know, one of my, I got a home girl. I made a home girl from my hometown, and she's gone. And they had a pretty good chemistry with each other. It was funny, especially when they were getting, when she, no, one time when she said, Leslie Jones' character says, you know, I'm gonna get you to the bar. I'm gonna get you drunk. And then they go over there. It was funny. It was. I know I said earlier that there weren't no funny ones, but that was in the beginning, like the first 30 minutes. But there were spatters of here and there, but really not enough to make me like this movie. Just because those scenes that I mentioned doesn't mean that this movie is salvageable. Not by any means. When you go an hour, not even one real genuine laugh, and then the last 30 minutes is the only thing. If I watch this movie ever again, it'll be the last 30 minutes. That's what should have been the tone and the pace of this movie. It should have been the last 30 minutes how it was. That should have been the whole thing. But unfortunately, they wanted to do what, like I said earlier, what they did with the film. And it was too late. It reminds me of Street Fighter, the movie, when these characters didn't look anything like their characters, right? And then the last 20 minutes, all of a sudden Dalsim looks like Dalsim, and Ryu and Ken look like each other. All these other characters. If you guys are familiar with the Street Fighter games and the movie, it was like that where they just waited too long to really capture what they had in the first one. Now the guy that directed this, what's his name? Charlie Brewster. What's his name? Something, I forget his name, but he directed Dolomite Is My Name, and that was an hilarious film. Where was that, yes sir? I talked to you directly. Why is it that you couldn't put that kind of energy into this? That one had a lot of like humor that wouldn't cut it in this era, but you were able to get away with it. Why couldn't you have done that with this? Instead of trying to appease, and that's what I'm feeling, that's what I'm saying, they're trying to appease these groups out there. You don't want to step on people's feet. You don't want to step on their toes. Let's do it like this. Let's do it like that. And oh yeah, that's right. This movie's supposed to be a comedy. Oh yeah, that's right. We're supposed to just, leave all that crap outside and let's just, and then they do it. And then it's just too late. I don't recommend this movie. And I've already seen like, I just want to take a look, and I put it in a search engine for YouTube, and I said "Coming to America reviews," and everybody that has they usually put their face on the thumbnail with the background of the movie, like that. They're all disappointed. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes, I read it, 50% Rotten Tomatoes, 50%. That's not even fresh. That's when the fruit already has that mold already building on the top already. It's like it's already almost eaten up by the rottenness. There were some great scenes. There were some stuff in there, you know. But also, it did do a lot of try. It did a lot to try to salvage it by bringing you back, having these moments that were in the first film, like when the sister asks her brother Lavelle, right, says, this is Mika, this is the name of the daughter, says, "Do you really want to go back to America?" And then they both go, "Nah." Remember that when Lisa said that to Akeem, when Akeem goes, "Do you want to give up all this?" She's all, "Nah," like that. And there was other callbacks, but it wasn't enough. This film really could have been a blast. It could have been a hoot, like one of my dear YouTube friends says. And yes, America, yes, in America we do say that. But yeah, it could have been fall out of your chair, hilarious thing. And there were a couple times when that happened. You know, when Randy Watson was introduced, and Eddie Murphy, and then Arsenio's character, he plays as an old man, goes, "Ah, hell," or he said, "Ah, shit," or something like that, because he was the one that complained when Randy Watson was up there singing in the original one, right? When we were at that pageant for those women, right? That was funny. And then the character, the other barber, still thinks he's good. He's like, "Hey, he's pretty good." Like, he still thinks he's good. Remember, he was the one. He goes, "He's pretty good." Like he said that at the beginning. I mean, in the first film, and he said it here. So I guess he's still a fan of Randy Watson's. But like I said, there's a few things here and there, but it's not enough to save this movie, really. I even at one point yelled at my computer screen, going, "What is this?" I said that. Why, you woke up my brother, and he sleeps at the top, at the upstairs. You could have heard me. That's how loud I yelled at. I went, "What the hell? What the fuck? What is this?" But there's even I read that Eddie Murphy is thinking of doing a part three about when he's 75, which would be about 16 years from now. I think you're going to do that, Eddie, because you want the bad taste of this film to kind of waft away and blow in the wind and be out of here, go out the window. You know what I mean? Because you definitely ain't going to do this a couple years from now. But nothing can save this movie, Eddie. A big mistake was made in the tone that you set. You set a tone that really, for me, wasn't going to bring me back in. It wasn't going to reel me back. It wasn't going to keep my interest. It wasn't going to be an enjoyable experience for me, because the pace and the tone that was set for the last 30 minutes should have been the whole tone. I like the fact that they extended in Africa, and they did the whole thing with James Earl Jones' character, who passes away at his mock funeral, I guess you say. And that's when the whole thing of like En Vogue and them came out singing, and even what's her name, Gladys Knight sang too. And it's like great seeing those legends and those things, but they really were out of place in here. They really didn't look like they fit. And then, the whole thing of him finding out that he has a son. He goes to America to find the son. I thought it was going to be a flip where it was going to be Semi's son, but it wasn't. But it would have fit, because Semi was going around banging anything that he could. He even told the king, he said, or it wasn't Eddie, I think it was, yeah, Akeem, he said that you're looking for the right queen. I was looking for the right vagina, or something like that. That's what he said. So he was going around spreading seed all over the place. Eddie wasn't doing that. But one thing, he gets high and stuff like that, and it allows her to take advantage of Lizzie Jones' character. You know what I mean? He's looking for somebody that looks like Lisa, but then he's able, even in that state, he's gonna let Leslie Jones' character, take advantage of him pretty much. Even if you're that high, you would have threw her off. It's like, you know what I mean? I don't know, but the movie could have been better. Like I said, if only they had just did it like they did the last 30 minutes, which I enjoyed. Not enough to recommend this movie, really. Like I said, if I watch this movie again, I'm going to watch the last 30 minutes, because that's what I liked, pretty much. But that's my review. Well, my recap and thoughts, my honest thoughts about Coming to America, the sequel to Coming to America. And I just got to say that this movie was pretty bad. and it couldn't be saved even with the last 30 minutes. Just didn't. They just it fell way too short, and it was really just it was just bad. Just to say it was bad. But anyway, that's my video. And for those of you who stopped by and checked it out, appreciate it. And in closing, as always, take care.